Today we are going to be talking about tone of voice. Really, we're talking about Jedi diplomacy, but communication is a core part of Jedi diplomacy, and it plays an important part in all of your life as a Jedi, from your work, from your schoolwork, from your home life, family, friends, all of it. And it is becoming more and more important as communication tends to be going a bit more back to text. If you think about texting, the various messengers, the online interactions and social media, a lot of it is through written communication these days. This, of course, is especially true for the online Jedi community. A lot of it is done in written communication. So tone of voice plays a core part in how we communicate, but that's obviously lacking in the written communication section. Now, we can think of times how tone of voice has played an important part in any situation. Maybe you can think of a time where you were upset and you picked up the phone and you answered it in a very harsh tone of voice, thus upsetting the entire balance of a conversation. Or maybe you can think of a time when you were asked to do something and the person used a very demanding tone of voice, and you're like, well, if you would have asked me nicely, no problem, but the way you asked me, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do it now. Now, as Jedi, we often have to rise above this and consider what is being said rather than how it's being said. But still, tone is very important. In regards to written communication, tone is often the projection of the reader, what they're feeling, or more importantly, what they're expecting from you. It's not always how you wrote something or what you're saying. A lot of times they may be expecting a certain kind of response, and thus they are already reading your words in that tone of voice. Let's do a little exercise right now. I want you to read this either aloud or in your head. Just read this right here. Okay, got that? All right, now kind of take note on how you read that, like just the tone. If you just read it, fine. Like just however you read that is good. But let's look at some different ways that this singular sentence can be said. What are you looking at? 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 Now, I don't know how you read that sentence, but obviously there's different ways that we can read it, and by changing our tone, by changing our demeanor, we are changing a singular sentence to mean different things. Maybe you reply to someone and you're asking them, what are you looking for? And they read it, what are you looking for? And they get defensive. And they start becoming aggressive because that's the tone they read it. We try to use things like emoticons and smiley faces and try to use these various descriptors in ways to alleviate the misunderstanding. You notice this most often in novel writing, right? The author goes through the trouble of describing questions and tone of voice and body language as a way to inform the reader on how to read this sentence or how to read this question. It's an important part of understanding and getting the proper tone in a situation. If you just took dialogue from any book that you like and you lined it up without any context and you removed all the things that indicated tone, it might make for a very weird and interesting read. But you know what you'll do? As you go along, you'll start adding connotations to the words, you'll start adding your own tone of voice to the situation. And maybe that lines up with the author's intent, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it lines up more with what you're experiencing within the moment. But that is the trap. That is the thing that you have to be aware of with tone of voice. So work on that tone of voice, be aware of that tone of voice. Next time you read something online and you're not sure of the tone of voice, ask. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge, right? Just ask. If something's unclear to you, or maybe you're projecting, take a step back. It's the internet, right? Online communication, you don't have to reply right away. You can even reply right away saying, hey, I'm gonna take a second before I reply to this. I got this other thing that I'm gonna deal with. I have to walk the dog, take a shower, whatever. Take a break. Then come back to it after you've had time to reflect on it. See if the tone has changed some. Put the phone down. If a text message bothers you, put the phone down. Get your quick 5-minute meditation on. Pick it back up. See if the tone is different. All right, just that's something to keep in mind. Continue to work on that Jedi diplomacy. And as always, thank you for watching. You know where the buttons are. You can like, you can dislike, you can subscribe, you can unsubscribe. You can block, you can comment, you can not comment, whatever. May the Force be with you.